I'm ready to coach Sharks if no one is ready. But he says he will only coach the club from Lagos.
That's e-coaching.
E-coaching. All right. Alex is watching us from Italy. Alex Giovanni at Verita for Luz says the Sharks FC should be suspended for 6 years and undergo rehabilitation. It's not really punishing that club. It's finding out those who did it. Because the clubs and the players are the ones that will be the biggest losers. They don't, I mean, it is Odinga, the captain that was beaten for God's sake. So if you ban the club, what happens to Odinga?
And it was also Benga Ugumote, the coach, the man in charge of the club's fortunes.
That was beaten.
That was beaten.
Okay. All right. I think we'll pause on the tweets a little bit. Tunde, I must thank you for your time.
Always a pleasure.
On the show. We'll go on a quick break now. When we return, we have two very special persons joining us on the show tonight from Anambra State. We'll be talking about the Anambra Football Association, Anambra FA. What's going on? We'll find out after this time out. All right, thank you for joining us. It's time for us to move on to this part of sports tonight. I have two guests joining me now. Let me just, without wasting any more time, just quickly introduce you to the two special persons joining me on Sports Tonight to discuss the state of affairs at the Anambra Football Association. To my immediate right, of course, I have Olisa Aniuno, who is also aspiring to be the chairman of the Anambra State Football Association. Is hoping to contest and win and be the man that will run football in Anambra for the next 4 years. And of course, to my far right is a colleague, a good friend of the house, Ralph Chidozie George. If you watch the broadcast of our matches, the Premier League matches in Nigeria, on Super Sports, you probably will have been hearing that voice. It's a goal, it's a goal. That's the guy. Running commentaries, Ralph Chidozie George joins me as well on Sports Tonight. Ralph, good to have you on Sports Tonight. Looks like this is your first time.
It's my first time, surprisingly.
Where have you been? Haven't you been on this show? What's been going on? Running around, keeping tabs with games and all of that?
Exactly.
But good to have you.
We are local people.
Yeah. Good to have you. But let's start with Anambra FA. Well, that brings me to the press release from the Nigerian Football Federation earlier on today, saying that according to them, no elections have taken place.
Truly
in Anambra. No elections have taken place. But we were told a couple of days ago that there was an election that produced Mike Ume. Ralph, I know you can explain all of that to us.
Of course, you know, that so-called kangaroo election that was purportedly held by Chief Mike Ume, you know, I did say not too many people talked about the election. You know, he just came and after the election, it was Mike himself that was sending text messages and phone calls to several people that he conducted an election. And so you wonder what kind of election was that?
Anyway, I won't dwell too much on that because they can also explain those who vote and all of that. But the NFF have come out to say no elections took place in Anambra. So right now, what's the next stage? Because there are a lot of factions on the ground now. We're told that the faction is loyal to Mike Ume, another faction is loyal to the vice chairman. That some crisis going on right now.
Yeah, definitely. A very big crisis in Anambra State, and it's a sad development. It's a shame, so to say, and it's really pathetic the way it's been going. Faction of two, comprising of the chairman, Chief Mike Ume, and of course, Victor Nwangwe, member of the board. And then a faction of seven, comprising of the
seven are with the vice chairman, majority. 2 are with the chairman.
Exactly. Yeah, a 9-member board divided 7 and 2. And so the majority will always carry the vote, you know, when it comes to election or any split in anybody. And so the way Ume has been going about it, it's to the height of the election, the height of desperacy, you know, so to say, for a man that has been there for 16 years of zero achievement in football.
Yeah, that can be argued.
Yeah.
Your achievement, I mean, that can be argued. Some people will probably point at some things as being achievements.
Like what?
Well, I'm not from Anambra State. But
football in the state is at ground zero, as it is right now. So incoming chairman, whoever it is, will not be talking about taking it to the next level. No, we'll be talking about starting from the grass level.
From minus to
no
zero.
No level at all.
You have to start from minus to
Ground zero.
But you are interested, Olisa, in becoming chairman of Anambra FA.
Right.
How can that happen with the present situation? We need to reconcile those two factions first, have a roadmap for elections before you can actualize your dream. How is that going to happen? How is that going to play out?
Well, I just want to thank you so much for the opportunity to be here to make my contribution in what I feel. I am not a person that believes in factionalization. Anambra should always come first in whatever we do. And that is why I've stayed away from the issues of controversy because our state of football in Anambra State is in shambles. Therefore, what I have come to contribute and to do is to help put things together. I don't belong to any faction. You know, I'm the faction of 7 and the faction of 2. What we want to do is to make sure that Anambra football gets back to its lost glory. I am a footballer. I play football most of my life, and I know what football means. And I'm very passionate about that game of football, and I'm committed. That is why I threw my hat in the ring, not for self-aggrandizement or self-praise, but because of the fact that I have something to offer. And when I look at the state of Anambra football today, we should not be talking about factions, and we should not dissipate our energy talking about things that are really meaningless. If there should be an election, it should be duly constituted, and there should be
in line with the statutes of the NFF.
Of course, and election should be set up with a proper electoral committee, and I'm quite sure that those things are already in motion. And if that takes place, I believe in fair play. I'll come and present the agenda that I have. If the members of Anambra FA feels that I have what it takes
they will elect you.
They will elect me.
But are you worried that for a long time there's been this kind of apathy from the government of Anambra State towards football particularly? The only clubs that are viable in Anambra are private clubs, for example. Sporting facilities, you don't find them commonplace in Anambra. Are you worried that there's been this apathy towards football by the government of Anambra?
No, because of the fact that the people that were at the helm of affairs of Anambra FA did practically nothing. And somehow they believe that government doesn't have a role to play. But I beg to differ. The government has a lot of role and a major role to play in the game of football. So they never actually went after government participation. More so, why should the government participate in an association that has absolutely no structure? Why would the government participate in an association that has nothing to show for what they have done? Therefore, I don't blame any government that refuses to participate with people